I feel that it's not only a cover for Israeli crimes, it's ignoring Israeli crimes and giving them legitimacy, or trying to give them legitimacy at a time when Palestinians, when there's the onslaught of the Israeli army and Israel on Palestinian lives is escalating. So why would Israel care if someone right-wing as right-wing as Naftali Bennett, who doesn't believe even in a two-state solution, or he believes in the settlements and expanding them, is received formally in an Arab country? The Abraham Accords have gone beyond any previous Israeli-Arab agreement. Has gone from trying to normalization between states to imposing normalization on the people and the memory and the culture of the Arab people. It's painful. It's an egregious crime in my view, because it violates even all of the human rights of the Palestinians, and it's a basic violation of human rights when you are rendering support actually amounts to support for the crimes. The majority, or the vast majority, even all opinion polls, even in Saudi Arabia or the Emirates and all across the Arab world, even the ones published by Zionist and Israeli research institutes, are acknowledging that the very vast majority of the Arab people see Israel as an enemy and care about the Palestinian cause or feel affinity with the Palestinian cause. And frankly, the leaders of the United Arab Emirates and other leaders have no shame. In fact, the Biden administration sought, and blinking announced that the widening of the Abraham Accords are required, are a necessity to lessen the effect of Israeli crimes, while Blinken trying softly to talk Israel into de-escalating its onslaught, which is continuous. So I don't know if it will be not only embarrassing. It will discourage the rest of the Arab masses from ever thinking that it's possible to have peace with Israel. So in the long term, it will have real effects, because many Arabs, even the ones who are against normalization, have been subjected to a lot of media in their countries that ignores the Palestinian issue. And remember that historically, Israel and its aggressions and its occupation and colonial project have been seen as a direct threat to the national security of each Arab country and the Arab world. So there are voices, and unfortunately the leaders of the Emirates are spearheading that, unfortunately, because in the past there were other Emirates rulers, although they were secret ties with Israel, have at least publicly the Palestinians. That's a whole twisted matter, because what's positive in regards of Iran, it will make Iran more popular actually, and they're trying to create Israel as the main enemy of the Arab world. Whatever differences the Arab world have with Iran, and I do have a lot of criticism of Iran, it's an indigenous, it's part of the region. The whole Israeli state was constructed on Palestinian lands and it tried and succeeded in some points in obliterating a lot of villages and trying to obliterate the memory, and now it's appropriating the culture of the Palestinians, as we saw in Miss World. They don't even know about these tops, the Palestinian traditional costumes. They are now flaunting it as theirs. Palestinians have always had these costumes, like my grandmother, her great-grandmother, and for each village the different costume. What's happening now is not only obnoxious, it's shameless. And so the benefit will be only benefit, I say, economically, the only ones who will benefit, some elites, some very high up elites. It will not trickle down to down. Jordan has had a peace agreement since 1994, and we haven't changed. It didn't help the economy. Egypt had an agreement since 1978 or 79, and they didn't change anything.